So now the daffodils in the commercial fields are pretty much going over. It's just the odd daffodil flower still about, but mostly they're dying back now. Some campions as well, although they have been around in ones and twos most of the winter because it's been so mild. You can see that they're growing quite rapidly now and coming into bud and flower. Quite a few more here. In this week I've noticed there's quite a few more dandelions. They're so important at this time of year for bees, etc. I've been trying to learn bird song for the last few years, but it seems to be taking me quite a long time to get anywhere with it. Now is not the right time of the year to start, really. I did hear a mizzle thrush earlier, but there's so many birds calling at this time of year, it's difficult to separate them sometimes. I've been using the Merlin Bird App, which I find really useful. While I've been stood here, I've been able to hear a robin, wren, mizzle thrush, carrion crow that you can hear in the background, great tit, long-tailed tits, which I could see as well. How wonderful to find these again this year. It's a really small patch of wood anemones. I have them growing in my garden. I've printed from them. They're quite robust, quite a bit bigger and more robust than the cultivated ones that I have. These ones seem very fine and delicate. The first sycamore leaves on a young tree. In this part of the woods that was once planted and domesticated, there's a lot of laurel, which smells incredibly strong at the moment. It's really densely perfumed, this part of the woods at the moment. I've mentioned in the previous video about this particular area, this would have been one of the rides or even a driveway to the main house on the Pendarvis estate. The woodland was split up and is now managed, sometimes heavily, sometimes not, by different people. This particular bit you can see isn't particularly heavily managed. And so the laurel is allowed to stay. It's quite invasive and it blocks out the light to the ground, so in these areas you don't get any bluebells growing, and it's not that valuable for wildlife. So in the park that's managed by the Wildlife Trust, they've eradicated all of this, and the rhododendrons that are also present here. Something I always find fascinating about flowers is that you can tell what the weather's doing by what the flowers are doing often. These ones are celandines, and because it's damp and a bit miserable, they're all closed up. If the sun was out, they'd be out.